Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Thursday, 1st August 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. Maduro declaring victory at the polls has Venezuelans in South Florida speaking out. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. CBS Miami's Morgan Reiner reports organizers of a protest in Doral are encouraging those listening to spread the word, confident that Venezuela will soon have a new leader.
People here in Doral told us that they still have homes in Venezuela and they tried to vote from here, from abroad, and they told us that they were met with one excuse after another, which is why they told us they too dispute the fact that Maduro won. Protests in Venezuela are not slowing down. Thousands taking to the streets outraged over the re-election of authoritarian leader Nicolas Maduro. Brawls erupting in the capital and across the country, some clashing with the National Guard, calling fraud. Here in Doral, dozens chanting the same message.
I was the first one who didn't want to have any kind of faith this weekend, but the amount of noise Venezuela has been able to make, it's just impossible not to get involved for me.
Albany Milan left everything but hope in her homeland 9 years ago.
I was studying medicine.
Jose Martinez left dreams of becoming a doctor.
I protect students against the military from Maduro. They start hunting me in my city. I have to leave the country.
Some here with homes in Venezuela say they tried to vote.
The regime, he cut us off with the lame excuse that we do not have an embassy or a consulate here in the country. We know that is not the truth.
So they also doubt Maduro's claims about results.
It's very hard, confrontation.
Organizers of the Doral protests are hoping those at home watching are listening and can help spread the word, confident that Venezuela will soon have a new leader. The mayor here of Doral even promised a fundraiser to help those suffering. I'm live in Doral, Morgan Reiner, CBS News, Miami.
Regional leaders gathered in Grenada for the 47th regular meeting of CARICOM from July 28th to 30th to address pressing issues affecting the bloc. Gina Felipe of HTS News Force reports.
Secretary General of CARICOM, Carla Barnett, commended member states for their role in solidifying integration, particularly in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. Barnett delivered the opening remarks of the 47th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Governments of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM.
This was especially evident most recently following Hurricane Beryl, where the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency provided critical support to our assessment and relief efforts. We have taken notable steps towards realizing some of the main tenets of the Grenada Declaration signed on this soil in July 1998. The free movement of nationals in the community, the provision of a reliable and cost-effective regional transportation system, establishment of the CARICOM single market and economy, economic and political cooperation and common market instruments. As our countries reinforce resilience and growth, it is critical that this 47th regular meeting advances these and other discussions and decisions intrinsic to the objectives of CARICOM integration.
Outgoing CARICOM chairman, President of Guyana, Dr. Mohamed Ifan Ali, called on member states to also highlight the region's achievements, not just its failures.
We do not celebrate who we are, and we do not get the glamorous headlines across the world for the contributions we are making as a region and the difference we are making as a region. And we do not seek after those glamorous headlines. But I think if we do not correct the narrative that is sometimes used to define us, and the narrative that is used to set us in a certain frame, we'll be doing a continuous injustice to those before us, those who are with us, and those who will come in the future.
Prime Minister of Grenada and newly elected chair Dickon Mitchell emphasized the effectiveness and relevance of CARICOM.
CARICOM is the longest surviving, and survival is not an appropriate adjective. It is the longest thriving integration movement in the developing world. We are talking South and Latin America, we are talking Africa, we are talking Asia. There is no other like CARICOM. And so when we talk about persons wanting to become associate members, we're not just talking about from within the region. There have been inquiries from countries far and wide as to whether there is the opportunity to have a relationship with CARICOM. And why is that? It is because the external world knows and recognizes the value of CARICOM.
Some of the other issues down for discussion affecting the bloc include climate change, border security, and food and nutrition. A significant highlight of the ceremony was the admission of Curacao as the 6th associate member of CARICOM. Additionally, former CARICOM Secretary General Roderick Rainford and former West Indies cricket captain Sir Clive Lloyd were honored with the region's highest award, the Order of the Caribbean Community. Gina Filippi, HTS News Force.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick, in association with our friends at
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Gang violence continued to plague Haiti years after President's assassination. In an exclusive interview, America's UN Ambassador Linda Thomas Greenfield describes the rampant violence that continues to plague the island. Details in this NBC South Florida report.
We want to turn our focus now to Haiti, where the island has been in turmoil since the July 7th, 2021 assassination of then-President Jovenel Moïse. Since then, gangs have been tormenting and creating rampant violence all across Port-au-Prince and some of the surrounding towns and communities.
UN Ambassador Linda Thomas Greenfield, she actually traveled to the nation's capital just last week and spoke exclusively to NBC6 anchor Jackie Nespro when she arrived back at the United States. Take a listen.
Haiti's gang violence is in crisis mode, leading to tens of thousands of people to flee Port-au-Prince and leaving the impoverished nation in a serious humanitarian, political, and security crisis. Ambassador Thomas Greenfield described the situation on the ground.
I left there guardedly optimistic. With the Kenyans on the ground.
Last year, Haiti requested international support to defeat the gangs, and on June 25th, the first group of Kenyan police officers were deployed to assist the Haitian National Police.
They've had a couple of engagements already with the gangs. They helped the Haitian National Police retake the hospital, which was a request that the acting prime minister asked, that they can provide health care, and they had had an additional confrontation with the gangs who attempted to take a police station, and they were able to successfully repel them from taking the police station.
And a big announcement, $60 million in additional humanitarian assistance and additional safety vehicles are on the way. Tell us a little more about the $60 million in humanitarian assistance. What will it go to specifically?
The $60 million is for the people of Haiti. It's for providing their needs. It's dealing with issues of food insecurity. It's dealing with issues of clean water. It's directly in support of the dire situation that Haitians, ordinary people, are finding themselves dealing with today.
Ambassador Thomas Greenfield met with newly installed Prime Minister Gary Conille and the Transitional Council.
They understand the importance of moving forward on setting up a election commission to start planning for elections, and they understand the importance of providing a much more secure environment for the Haitians.
Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Mottley is very worried about the prevalence of assault weapons in Barbados. She made the comments during a contribution to the Bail Bill 2024. Concern has been rife from all segments of society about the 26 murders on record so far for 2024, up from 21 recorded in 2023. 17 of the murders this year were committed using firearms. Ms. Motley says if left to her, she would ban all guns. More in the CBC News clip.
There is no place in any civilized society, and certainly this country of ours, for assault weapons to be used, to be in possession, to even be in a museum. If you want to know what it looks like, watch it in a movie. But there is no place for it. As Attorney General, I made the point very often that left to me, if I could deal with Barbados as a Greenfield Society, Mia Mottley, I'm talking now with the government or anybody, I would ban all guns because I don't really see the need for them in a civilized society. But the horse has bolted from that stable long time. And the capacity to be able to carry us back to a place where Australia or New Zealand or others are is not an easy trek. And the country may well have to have that conversation in the future. And you will know where I stand on it.
Over in Jamaica, the police are in mourning over the tragic death of Detective Sergeant Kevin Main. Recent research reveals that the majority of the force suffers from depression, raising concerns that members may sink further into despair. Here is Trisha Gay Kelly of CVM News with more.
Members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, are tasked with a job that on any given day could place them in harm's way. Recent studies have shown that the type of experiences they encounter on a daily basis can also make them prone to depression, with the majority of the force already depressed. Following the death of their colleague, Police Sergeant Kevin Main, last Monday, head of JCF Corporate Communications Network, CCN Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, had relayed that JCF members were not taking the loss well. Clinical Director of the Force's Medical Services Department, Dr. George Leverage, explains that the force has mechanisms in place to help those individuals with their burdens.
High Command has established mechanisms to mitigate and to trigger interventions which are needed to address these issues. So there are different departments involved in bringing the support right on the ground to the people.
He explains various departments come together to assist JCF members, including the chaplaincy services, medical services branch, and even the welfare department. And the care is not only limited to JCF members.
They also trigger a response that gets to the family members. And once the family members are properly informed, that support is taken to their homes. So, and that's just a small fraction of what happens in these situations
This intervention is relevant, as expressed by researcher Dr. Paul Bourne. Coincidentally, the deceased was within the age group that was labeled clinically depressed. Dr. Bourne explains colleagues in his age group could be severely impacted by his death. He fears the incident could trigger additional concerns within the ranks.
It could mean a worsen the situation, as well as it could be a constant of the situation, as well as it could maybe not affect the situation at all. It all depends on the relationship between the people inside at the station. So that is going to be a critical factor, because remember, people are biased by their association, closer than others. So those who are close and within the context of the current age that you're actually looking at, it could mean a worsening of the situation of those persons who are at that station.
Sergeant Kevin Main was killed last Monday while transporting a civilian to his office for further questioning. Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.